Byron Murphy. Welcome to where I create my workshops and seminars. I want to thank you for taking your valuable time to watch this promotional video on creative thinking. I have very good news that will be valuable to you during this promotion. Creative thinking is a 21st century essential skill. Why is that? Well, let's think about it this way. Communication worldwide, instantaneous. Travel worldwide, same-day arrival for the most part, which has made the world your competitor, because now both products and services are in competition with you right where you are. I'll give you an example. In England, people will pay to fly to Poland to get world-class dental work. In 2008, Ascension Healthcare Organization that builds hospitals and manages them partnered with a cardiac surgeon, and they built a 2,000-bed hospital in the Cayman Islands. Look it up. It's Cayman Island Health City. They do all types of cardiac surgeries, they do neurological surgeries, and they do orthopedic surgeries. So how do you, in your business, compete without riding the razor blade down to zero of price cutting? Creative thinking is the answer. Creative thinking is often connected to inventions, next problem solving, and next processes. And the link between creative thinking and processes is weak. So let me show you how it isn't weak. When IBM created the first copier machine, it was so expensive they could not sell them. They had to lease them out. Within months of that first copier coming out, competitors popped up here, there, and everywhere with substandard copiers. But they were stealing market share away from IBM. The executives at IBM, why is this happening? Well, the main reason, these competitors were putting a copier machine in businesses within 30 days. IBM's leasing program was taking 3 months. The executives were really smart. They had one of the attributes of all creative thinkers. They physically walked through the process, the paperwork, and they found out where it was duplicated, where it was 3 times or 4 times more people involved that didn't necessarily have to be involved. They removed all these duplications, and they were able to put a copier in a business within 30 days. They took back market share. The good news is there has been research and data gathering going on for over 70 years. In fact, it started during World War II. In World War II, psychologists started looking at 2 very specific wartime occupations. And psychologists found out that there was consistently an attitude, thinking patterns, and actions. With time, their questions and hypotheses became more sophisticated. And what do I mean by that? How do you transfer this attitude and specific thinking pattern, behavioral, physical actions? How do you transfer that to other people? There's one thing. Another very sophisticated hypothesis was, are there subsets to these attitudes and thinking patterns and physical behaviors? And here's the most important one. How can creative thinking be on purpose? How can it be planned for, created for this problem or this process or this new invention? Here's the really good news. It is learnable, it's teachable. I have designed a workshop that teaches the specific skills and strategies and their subsets. And within that workshop, I have also created the exercises that support those specific skills and strategies. My mentor, Dr. Gerard Puccio of New York University, who has the whole creative thinking course that he's designed, one of his most famous saying is, knowledge without application leads to nowhere. So when I designed this workshop, everything is backed up with a very specific exercise that makes the person own it. As a result of this workshop, your company will become a creative thinking culture. And this is going to make you a world-class competitor, no matter who your competition is. Don't miss the end, What you're going to see now is some excerpts from a workshop that I designed for an organization that wanted some creative solutions to the problems that they face. Talk to you soon. A lion woke up this morning. He was hungry. He went out hunting. He tracked down a bull. He ran that bull down, killed him. He started feeding on that bull. And the more he fed, the better he felt. The better he felt, he wanted to let the whole world know how important and how good he was feeling. So he started to roar. He fed some more. He roared some more. A hunter woke up that morning. His whole purpose was to go out and hunt and kill something. He heard the roaring. He tracked it down. He saw the lion feeding on the bull. He took careful aim. Boom! Killed that lion dead. Moral to the story, when you're full of bull, keep your mouth shut. You ain't gonna hear no bull today, I promise. On the 3 letters that I sent out, promotion of this seminar, I kept on talking about 60 years of research. And it is. And what is so neat about it is they've tabulated this research of creative thinking. World War II, psychologists started studying people in 2 separate occupations that they could not adequately prepare for all the things that they would happen to them. And there were a certain group of people in those 2 occupations that successfully came back no matter what happened. The 2 occupations were pilots that had been shot down and spies. And this is what they found out in their studies. It had nothing to do with IQ. Had nothing to do with genetics. Had nothing to do with an Ivy League education. Had nothing to do with the zip code that you lived in. So it had nothing to do with wealth. These people had specific behaviors and thought patterns. And by the way, thinking is just talking to yourself. They had specific behaviors and thought patterns, and it successfully brought them out of whatever condition they were in. That's what today's about. That is what we're going to talk about regards the creative thinking natural. But what I'm going to go is one step further. We're going to make it on purpose because, as I said before, it's natural. Now, some of you are saying, I'm not creative. I am not a creative thinker. It's because you've defined it incorrectly. You see, every one of us comes up with problems and setbacks and things that just, how am I going to get through this? And then we figure it out. But then we go on. You've labeled creative thinkers as people that make the big inventions or get very famous. The only difference between us and the big names is the big names went wider, deeper, and longer. They stuck with a problem. But once again, it was because they had the very specific skills and strategies that until the psychologists in World War II started tabulating them, they didn't know what they were. There's 3 areas of creativity. There's those that invent, there are those that change a process, and there's the artists. Here's the thing. You got 2 different wordings. You got the semantics. This group was to come up with some good ideas. This group was to go for quantity. See, in creative thinking, you have always do not ever censor yourself. And we're going to talk about a tool later on when someone tries to censor you. So you always go for quantity when you're starting to think about creative things. You don't, oh, that won't work, or we tried. No, you just throw it up there because 2 things will happen. And now we're going to get into the science part. When you do the custom and usual, which is about the first third of the things that you're going to think of new, you're going along already established neural pathways. It's going to be the customary, the status quo, and all of that. It's going to be when you get a goal for this would be something like, until we reach 100 different suggestions, we're not stopping. Because when you get down to the final third, boy, you're going to come up with some neat things. That's one thing. The other thing, you're going to make connections with the other 99 or 2 or 3 out of that 100. Creative thinkers are neutral. This is so cool because this is what stymies our creativity. You've got here optimism, and here you've got pessimism. You want it right here. I'm going to tell you a true story. It's based on this man here, Spencer Chapman. World War II, South Pacific. He was British military. Captured numerous times by the Japanese. He was all by himself. He got the tribesmen on the different islands in the South Pacific to get together. They were a thorn in the Japanese side because they were interrupting their communication lines, their ammo lines, their supply lines, everything. They were just blowing it up, doing all kinds of stuff that was just driving them crazy. The Japanese captured him numerous times. After his first capture, he was planning his escape. And there was a group of people that said, the jungle will protect you. It will feed you. It will hide you. There was this group of people, it'll kill you. You'll never make it. Well, if he went with this group of people, he would go with an attitude of, I'm going to be okay. If he went with this group of people, he would go with an attitude, I ain't going. He went with a neutral attitude. The jungle is neutral. And what does this do? This keeps your mind open for the danger as well as for the positive things. And when you think in a neutral way, when you're trying to, on purpose, do creative thinking, this is what happens. You're continually open. They've done functional MRIs, and for those that might not know what a functional MRI is, you can either do some thinking or some action, and it shows up in the functional MRI which part of your brain is operating. And it's indicated by the blood flow. Where's the major blood flow? Well, when you're optimistic, it goes to the frontal. What's the frontal? Oh, we've only got 10 good ideas. Boom, let's stop, let's go, let's put them in. Not yet. See how it when it goes to the frontal lobe, it shuts it down. We've got the answer. When you're pessimistic, you're not even opening up any branches. See how this goes hand in hand with you go for quantity and you stay neutral. This is great stuff. Creative thinkers have some very specific habits. One of them is domain mastery. Whatever job you're in, regardless of what it is, when you become totally a master in it, know all that everybody else knows, that is when you're in your job, you start thinking about things differently. Creative thinking. Think about your staff being on purpose creative thinkers to look at the entire business plan for your organization. How to make it very, very viable, regardless of outside influences, the volatility of the times, the economic crises. Jim Collins, in his books, Good to Great and Great by Choice, outlines the companies that have the sticking power regardless of outside forces. Every single one of those companies had creative thinkers in them. This is the 21st century. We can no longer solve today's problems with yesterday's thinking, according to Albert Einstein. Creative thinking needs to be part of your corporate culture, and I can do that for you.